You had, sorry, Mike, you had a little go. Obviously, you've had a few goes at management. Ultimately, you can only deal with what you've got as players, isn't it? Isn't it about the talent on the pitch? You can only do so much.
Yeah.
However much you know the game, however great a player you are, however strong a management are, the best managers are the ones that got the best players.
Yeah, of course, and I think that's normal. But I think the issue maybe of looking too far ahead is what we're seeing over the last 10, 15 years is managers are not getting that time.
No.
So you have to be a little bit selfish as a manager and say, okay, if I don't do it now, then I might not get that time. And maybe, you know, I think that is a little bit naive to say we're looking to win the Premier League because from where they are now, they're a long
season in a sense because they've brought him in. It's not his team. It's not a team that can play actually really in the style that he wants. So he needs time. Do you think he'll get it? Yeah,
I do think he'll get it, and I think it's not a free hit because I think you'd expect a bit more from Manchester United than what we're seeing since he's been in. It's very difficult to come in during the season and not have his pre-season to implement his plans with the team, but he has to look to the future and moving forward. And how can he, firstly, he says win the Premier League, how can he compete to get a bit further up the table? I think that's the next step for them. But ultimately, the goal moving forward over the next few years is to try and do that.
You had, sorry, Mike, you had a little go. Obviously, you've had a few goes at management. Ultimately, you can only deal with what you've got as players, isn't it? Isn't it about the talent on the pitch? You can only do so much.
Yeah.
However much you know the game, however great a player you are, however strong a management are, the best managers are the ones that got the best players.
Yeah, of course, and I think that's normal. But I think the issue maybe of looking too far ahead is what we're seeing over the last 10, 15 years is managers are not getting that time.
No.
So you have to be a little bit selfish as a manager and say, okay, if I don't do it now, then I might not get that time. And maybe, you know, I think that is a little bit naive to say we're looking to win the Premier League because from where they are now, they're a long way off that.
Miles off.
Yeah, but you've been inside the club, Man United, obviously a huge club. But what's happened? Why has there been such a fall off? You know, you've been in the dressing room, you've played with the players, you know what it's like to be successful for Man United. How can it go from winning trophy after trophy to then now we're talking about people are talking about relegation battle? You know,
I have no idea. I think since Alex Ferguson left, David Gill left. I think they've tried various different managers, some top managers as well in terms of obviously Mourinho, Van Gaal, David Moyes, very experienced manager. Everyone's been in and tried to get more out the players, out the team, and obviously we're seeing changes off the pitch with Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos coming in, and a lot of speculation of different changes with the staff, with certain things around the club. So I think everyone's a little bit on edge. I think certainly now, but over the last 10 years, there's been a slow decline of the football club, and they just need to try and get some consistency in what they're doing, whether that's with the manager, with the process, recruitment, and how they want to try and move forward. And I think
key, isn't it?
if they get that right, then they will start to get better. But
I think you could even go back to, you talked about when Alex Ferguson left and stuff, but if you look at Liverpool now, they've got a new manager in Arne Slot. And it's testament to how Jurgen Klopp left the club in a really good state.
And the structure above is really good.
That probably wasn't the case at the end of Sir Alex Ferguson's reign. I know they won the league that season, but it wasn't their best side. And a lot of their players, a lot of their great players, were coming to the very ends of their careers. And then I think from there, they've had problems. The academy wasn't delivering the players that they were before and stuff like that.
But even
knock-on effect.
But they could go and buy the best in class. Because Man United was still a draw because of its success and its history.
But the recruitment's not been good.
The recruitment's been poor, and also now what the problem United have got, and the new manager is PSR. That you can want to get rid of 6 or 7 and bring in 4 or 5, and you might even be able to entice them in. But if you haven't got the capability of doing it financially because of PSR, you're then trying to put this jigsaw together that's really difficult to do.
When you say recruitment, though, Dan, what do you mean by that? Because the players that they've bought in have normally done well. See, Anthony Ajax, he did really well. He's going on loan now. He's doing well. You see McTominay going to Napoli, doing well. And that's why I asked you, alluded to that before. Is it the pressure of Man United that some of the players can't deal with?
Yeah, there's certainly a big pressure, but going back to recruitment, Manchester United have spent a lot of money over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And I think what they've done, the structure hasn't been there because a certain manager hasn't had a long period of time to put that in place, or the club haven't put that structure of what they want in place. So they're buying players, like we see 90 million on Lukaku, on Pogba, all these players coming in as individuals, and it looks like there hasn't been a long-term plan to have this way of playing, this style, this identity of how we want to play. And then we see a new manager come in who wants his own way of playing, like we're seeing now Manchester United going to a back three. So every time that's starting to move forward a little bit, it gets ripped up again, and because you've got a different style and different.
Well, you should applaud that then. If he's sticking by his principles, that's what you want. Because
it's whether the club sticks by their principles of having him.
I think
that's
one of the problems, though, Gary, is the fact that you hear the reports that Man United have to sell to bring players in.
That's what I'm saying.
And that is a difficult part. Normally, historically, Man United could go buy the best players.
And the other thing, even if he gets all the backing in the world and he wants to play this system and he's financially able to bring in players, I'm not sure that system can win the Premier League against the type of teams he's coming up against. It might be more competitive in another season, but I don't think playing that way. Only one team have won the Premier League playing that way, and that was Chelsea. And let's not forget who they had in the middle of the pitch. They had Matic and Kante.
Yeah, exactly.
And they also had Costa and Hazard up the top, which is a bit different.
Well, they've got much better players overall than Manchester United.
But when you're trying to, go and win the Premier League, as the manager's saying there, you need to be in a stable position to bring the best players in. And if I'm a player playing in a different country or in a different club, Manchester United come to try and sign me now, I'm looking, thinking, I'm not sure. You at the top players want Champions League football, and unfortunately that's not where the club are at.
Well, say if you're at Everton now and they come in for you back in, and they're in this position, but you've also got Man City and whoever else coming. You're looking now, and you.
Things change.
When I signed for United, United were actually in transition there with, Chelsea were dominating at that period. Arsenal, then Chelsea were. So we were in transition when I signed. And
since you've been here, at some stage you're going to have to accept that the way you set up your team is just not working. It's not creating enough wins, and people are finding it easy to play against you.
Find it easy to play against, guys. You have I understand that, and I accept. So it's not a record that you should have in Manchester United. There are a lot of things that you have no idea what happened during these months, but I accept that. But I'm not going to change. When I want to change my philosophy, I will change. If not, you have to change the man. So, and we will talk about that every game that we lose. I don't believe in that, in the system or whatever. So I play my way, and I'm going to play my will until I want to change.
David? We can hear you, go on.
Just following on from that, Ruben, you said on Friday that the team are better than last season. Can you understand why sort of fans can't see that after a result?
No, I understand everything.
And losing faith in your ability to kind of turn situations.
That is normal. That is normal. With the results, again, I accept that. I don't see that way. I see that we are doing better, but then the results doesn't show that. Again, I remember last year we play in the former club. We play against City. We won 4-1. It was not near the opportunities, the way we control the game compared to today. But in certain moments we were not better than City. So I understand that, and it's hard. And the record says everything. So I understand.
What is your message to those fans who are losing?
My message is that I'm going to give everything. I will do everything, always thinking about what is best for the club. That was always the same message. And then it's not my decision, the rest. So until I'm here, I will do my best I really want to win games. So I'm suffering more than them.
Last question, James.
Bruno, I know you're searching for solutions in the right pairing in that sort of number 6 position, those two deep midfielders, but you play obviously Bruno there. He's been far and away United's best and most consistent player for a very, very long time. Your best player. You've now taken your best player out of his best position. and he looks compromised. Is that not just adding to the conundrum and the difficulties and overcomplicating the situation?
Guys, I understand how football it is, and the results will dictate all the narratives. Against Arsenal, who is playing against Arsenal? You think we play well? We think we were the better team? You think Odegaard, Rice, and I think Zubimendi are 3 top midfielders?
Yeah.
We play with 3. We play with 2. One was Casemiro, the other was Bruno. Sometimes it's the dynamic of the team. Sometimes it's an opportunity that you score. I see it that way. I know that is really hard for people. And the fans don't want to hear me saying these things. And I know that they are not going to listen nothing and going to be upset. With that, I cannot do nothing. I'm trying to be rational, and I don't lie to myself. So I see the record, I understand the frustration of everybody, and I understand any decision that came with that. But that conversation about the 2 midfielders, the pair, Kobe and Mino, I understand all these narratives. But then when I look certain games, we play with 2. It's the same thing.
But is it not with Bruno that you, because maybe you don't have the 6s that you want?
But today when is well, but today when we imagine the game, why not use Ahmad? Why don't you use Ahmad, Brian, Sesco, and Bruno behind with the ball? To be the first guy receiving the ball and then with a lot of pace in front. So I'm trying to do different things, trying to imagine the game, and then when you don't win, doesn't work, you take the critics. But that's it.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.